Okay guys, so this is the GoPro. This is a tiny little camera here, and it shoots really high quality footage. So the first thing you do is you put this memory card in it. So this is a tiny little SD memory card. You can see that. Okay, so the card goes in this little slot right here, and you just put it in there. Make sure the right side is up, so you're going to make sure that the text is going up towards the lens. And then you push it in with your fingernail, actually. Kind of like that. And this is what records all the data. Alright? And so it's a 64 gigabyte card, and it'll fill up after a day's use, maybe less. And there's another card that we have for you, and it's a 32 gigabyte card. The best way to operate this camera is, since there's no back, you can't really see what you're shooting, which can make it really difficult to frame shots right. I have an iPhone 5 here, and you can use any iPhone, like from down to a 4 up through the 6, or any Droid that has the ability to download apps from the Google App Store. And you're just going to download this app right here, the GoPro app, and then connect your camera. Now the way to connect the camera on the iPhone, and you're going to have to do similar stuff on a Droid, is you turn on your Wi-Fi and you turn on your Bluetooth. Okay? So I've just enabled both my Wi-Fi and my Bluetooth, and then once your Wi-Fi is enabled, you're going to go into your settings and find the Wi-Fi called, I've called this camera Village. So you're going to look for the Wi-Fi signal for Village. And where is it? Am I not seeing it? I'm not seeing it. Stop. Okay, cut. First, you need to power on the GoPro, which is this front button right here. Okay. And you will see it turn on after you hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. There you go. It turned on. You saw the light flash. And then as that turns on, see the menu is operational, and you need to then turn the side button on to enable Wi-Fi. And you will see it turn blue. So now the Wi-Fi, and it says, it has a symbol for Wi-Fi. So now that that's on, then you can go to your camera's or your phone's settings for Wi-Fi and find Village GoPro. And there it is. Village GoPro is going to go on. And then I go back down to the app in the phone, and it says make sure Village GoPro wireless is on, and you say yes, wireless is on, and it's going to connect, which it's doing right now. Bam. And there is a setting that says control the camera versus review photos. If you want to make sure you click control the camera. And now I'm filming, I'm seeing what is on this GoPro in the lens on the screen of the iPhone, which is very useful.
There's me, okay.
So there's Bill.
Greetings to Frank and his fellow villagers in Kushluk, Alaska. Today is, what, Tuesday the 16th?
I have no idea.
Ryan's been putting his gallery together, and he's been hitting it hard. So hope this tutorial put together by AO Photography and Video finds you guys in good health.
Thank you, Bill. Alright, so now if we were actually wanting to record that all onto the GoPro device, we were obviously filming this clip with this camera up here, which is the one doing the recording. But if you want to film onto this using this iPhone, you just press record. And now it's recording. You can see the red light come on. There's actually a red light that comes on in the front of the camera, the top of the camera, the back of the camera, and the bottom of the camera.
That's to show it's on record.
And that's so for any angle you might be standing around this camera, you will be able to tell that it is recording. Alright, so I'm going to stop recording on this device now using the top, I just turned it off using the top red record button. You can do that if you're actually near the camera. If you're far away from the camera, you can do this. Now, I will tell you about the furthest you can stand from this and make this work still is probably about 15 to 20 yards. If you get any further than that, or if there's walls in between you, the connection gets pretty shoddy pretty quick. The screen starts skipping, or it'll just not connect and turn off. So just make sure you're standing within reasonable distance from this. Cool. Okay, so this is a really important piece of the camera. Now there's multiple of these cases. Now this is your heavy duty one right here. And this has the built-in battery pack. All right, and this is an all-day battery pack. So you should be able to go out in the wild and use this. And this is a waterproof case. Snow resistant, water resistant, and so forth. As long as this is tightly latched up here like that with the camera in it, you should be waterproof.
Do you have a cord?
Yeah, and then there is another case, and now this case is not waterproof. See how there's a hole in the back? That is not a waterproof case. So make sure that you're not using this for situations where it might be raining on the camera or snowing. But what this is good for is better audio, and also it has access to the side, the extra, you know, the charger and the card right there, and audio. And over here your Wi-Fi button is still able to be pushed. So, you know, this is a really important one because there might be lots of situations where you want to be able to plug the extra power in, or you want to be able to plug the mic in, which I'll show you in a bit, but you don't, you aren't able to do that with this one because it doesn't allow you access to the side of the camera. So you cannot plug the external microphone into the waterproof case. So if you're out raining on a rainy day, you're not going to be able to get audio that's very good, period, end of story. Even with the external audio, you're not going to want to put the external audio microphone in the rain. So if you're shooting in the wet weather, you're probably just going to be getting video but no audio. If you want to get audio, it needs to be good weather, and then you can put this case on. And the cool thing about it is there's all these different brackets I'm going to show you more about. But this is your basic bracket, which allows you to put it on a tripod. And so you're going to see that it has the screw right there to put on a tripod. And this little screw is very important. You make sure you hold on to these. Do not lose these screws, because this screw comes out and goes into every single bracket that you can use for it. So for example, if you want to attach this tripod mount, you line up the holes with the holes on the inside of this bracket right there, and then you stick the screw in and screw it in and tighten it down. Alright, so there, now you've got a tripod mount. Cool, alright. So this part is pretty cool. What you can do, like for example, if you're surfing, people will put the GoPro on top of this, they'll screw it in. So it becomes like a handle for the GoPro, and like that. So there's that, it's a handle. You can walk around with this, hold it, put the GoPro on top of that. That's what that's for. So this is a chest strap that you can strap the camera to, and the way that this works is it goes on your body. So for example, your chest will be behind here, and you strap this around your shoulders, and then you put the camera on it like this. And remember that trusty screw I told you not to lose? That screw again goes in here and locks it in, so do not lose the screw.
Perfect.
And what the chest strap is great for is when you're walking around, you don't have to hold the camera, and it's hands-free. I mean, you're getting the first-person perspective, but from the chest level. So it's great for action, running around, hunting, doing whatever. There is another piece that's very similar to this, and you'll have to make sure not to get confused, but this is obviously very similar, and this is a head strap. And so this is great for first-person perspective if you want everybody to see. So for example, cooking was a really fun use of this one. So when all your ladies are cooking up there, you can have them wearing this, and again, there's your trusty screw right in there. Okay? So yeah, headbands are great for first-person perspective on a snowmobile or hunting too, anything. Really fun.
If you want to zoom in on an animal they're about to shoot, are they able to do that with this camera? You know.
No, not really. I will show you that there are several menu features for wide angle, super wide, or narrow. but that's not really a zoom, it's more of a crop. So let me go through all these first and then I'll get back to the camera settings. Let's see, what is this one for? I can't remember. I think this one, I actually don't know what this is for. This one is a very interesting strap. I have no idea what it's used for, but you can get creative. And if you figure out something, let me know what you did with it. Okay, I'm just going to quickly run through the rest of them. There's a lot here. This is a table mount, so if you just want to have it sitting like this on a table, you can use that one. This is a clip. You can have it clipped to anything, you know, it's like a kind of like an alligator clip. You see that, and you can, you know, put it on this. You can put it on a, you know, anything like that you would want to just clip it to in a barn or whatever. This is great. This is for like putting it in a car on the dashboard and then filming while you're driving. This is a good one. This is for like sticking it to something like a helmet or, you know, any weird thing that you would need that you can't latch it to but you want to stick it to. So, but this is a, you know, one-time sticky, so once it's stuck, it's stuck. So use it wisely. And then there's these clips right here that go into it. So you attach the camera to this with your trusty, of course, your trusty screw that you don't lose, right? And then you clip this in, and then you stick that on whatever. So there's that. All right. This is a weird piece, and this one too. This is for like, let's say you're on the, you want to mount it on the side of a car, for example, and on the side of a car you could have it sticking out from weird directions and stuff. So there's those two. So okay, so that's enough on those things. There's also this is a selfie stick, so you could put the tripod mount on this, attach the GoPro to this, and then what you would do is you can extend this, and then you got like a extension which you can hold at a distance. So there's that. Here's a little mini tripod. So if you need it for anything, and then the legs extend like that. And then this screw right here tightens and adjusts. So like, let's say for example you want it to sit at a side angle like that. You screw it down with this screw right there. All right, I think we're good on all that stuff.
Good man. That's about it, isn't it?
This is really useful too. This is like for a motorcycle or a snowmobile or anything with bars, bicycle.
There you go.
You can mount it onto the bars.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's that.
Snow machine. Yep.
Also, it has a tripod mount too. Oh, yeah, so lots of different angles there. Okay, so this is your most important cord for the reasons that it charges your camera. Now there is an internal battery inside this camera too, which you can remove, but the only way you can charge it is in the camera. So you press this little button back here on the bottom, and it releases the battery. And here, I'll turn it off so we can mess with it. Press and hold to turn off. Hold for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then it'll finally turn it off. There, it's turned off now. And then I can basically remove the battery. How do you remove the battery again? pull it. There's a little tab, a plastic tab. You just pick that up and then pull the battery out. So there's the battery. The only reason you would need to do this is, let's say you get multiple batteries and you want to carry them with you. Then when this battery runs out, you could replace it with an extra one. Right now you've only got one battery and then this extra battery pack. So you shouldn't need to open it unless you guys yourselves decide to buy extra batteries for this thing, which can be expensive, probably upwards of $50 to $75 for a battery. This is a very important cord though, because the best way to deal with this is to just plug this into the fat charging hole right here, and it actually has a little symbol on it for power, and then you just plug this into the camera itself, and then you plug this into your computer, or if you have an adapter that goes onto this into the wall for like a USB wall charger, you can put that in there too. But all you got is this. That's all we're giving you. So if you have a computer, just plug it in there and charge it.
You don't use that to plug into the battery.
This is your all-day battery charger. your camera slips into the case like so, and there's a cable, which I will show later, there that plugs into the side where the power, plugs in from there, and it's a very thin little ribbon cable, and it slips out the side right here into the back of your battery. And then once those are plugged in, you very carefully close it, and that cable can pinch, so you have to be careful when you're closing it. Then make sure it's watertight, make sure that seal's solid, and snap it shut. Now you're not ready to shoot yet until you turn on your battery pack. So you press and hold, and then you will see a little green light come on right there. And now your battery pack is connected and charging your camera. Now the way it works is it's not going to actually charge the camera while it's filming. It only charges it while it's not filming. So your internal battery is getting charged by this big battery pack while it's not filming. But while you're filming, you've only got the lifespan of the internal battery, and you can keep track of that on the battery symbol on the front right here. And as that progressively goes down, you're going to need to stop filming and let it charge up. And as soon as you're done filming, it'll start charging.
But you still need that little cable to do what you just.
Yeah, it's going to be always connected in there.
Yeah.
You don't mess with it. But the key is for it to charge, it has to not be filming. And then this thing as well can get. You plug your cable in to this and plug it into the wall. Oh, not filming. So to plug this in, the big battery case needs to get charged separately from the camera. And so you charge by putting your USB cable in and then plugging that into the wall. And then that charges the case, but not the battery in the camera. The only way the battery in the camera will get charged is if you either take it out and plug it into the wall, or let this thing charge it. But then, of course, once you've let this big case charge the internal battery on the camera, you've drained half of this case. Okay? So that's how that works. So make sure the case is fully charged before you go off to film.
I don't know how you know all this stuff.
Okay, I found that little cable. So here's the little cable for your battery pack to charge into your camera. So now, here's how it works. This one end will go into your end that charges into the wall, right? So you plug that in. And then you stick the camera in the slot, right? And then now this sticks out. And then you carefully plug it in. Now there's actually a sign that says Hero and 3 and 4. You want it to go into the 3 and 4 slot, because the 3 and 4 slot is your version of this camera, not the Hero, okay? So make sure it goes into the 3 and 4. This is a Hero 4. So now that that's in, we're gonna carefully close this. Now you see how it can get crunched in there. You gotta be very careful when you're closing this so it doesn't rip. In fact, I'm already not aligned. So make sure it's aligned, and then make sure it's aligned. And then when you close it, latch it on. There, now your cable is running off the side of the glass into the slot between the battery case. And now you can go ahead and turn it on. I see the green light on. You see that there? And then, look, the light, the camera's not even on right now, and you see the red light? It's actually charging right now. But as soon as I turn it on, watch what happens. Okay, so it's saying battery's charging. That's really good. But as soon as I start filming, the battery stops charging. You can tell because the battery's not filling, like it looks like a filling battery. It stopped, it's just solid now. So whatever battery level you're at will just be what it is internally on the camera while you're filming. As soon as you stop, watch what happens. You stop and see the battery is starting to fill up again. That means it's charging now off of this battery charger. Cool, huh? Thanks, Bill. Start over. So here we are talking about audio for this GoPro 4. It's not the best camera for audio, period. It just doesn't. If you're really close to it in a really quiet room, not in this case, but in this case, you can record decent audio. But if you're not going to be that close to it and you want to be far away, we've got this lavalier mic for you, which you can clip onto somebody's shirt or jacket or whatever they're wearing, and it'll clip right on. Now this is the other end, and it plugs into an adapter for your camera. And I'll show you how to get out. So you're going to take it out of this one to be recording on this. If you're recording in it like this, you're not going to be getting audio, period. So if you want to record audio, you need to take it out of this case. And then remember to unplug very carefully. This cord is super important. If you rip this, you can't use this case anymore. And we'll have to buy a part for you and ship it up there. So be very careful with that. So you unplug it from the camera. Free that up, and now you got the raw body, which you should be very careful with, because if you scratch this screen, this lens will be permanently ruined, and the whole $500 camera is ruined. So I highly encourage you, as soon as you take it out of this case, put it into this case right away. And even take your cloth, your lens cloth, and wipe off the lens anytime you take it in and out of the case. Make sure your lens is wiped on this, so there's no dust from when you're, if these are sitting in storage, they're going to be collecting dust, and then when you go to use it, just make sure to get the dust out. Wipe off any fingerprints on the screen. Then you've got a nice, clear picture image. And then go ahead and close your case for audio. And now you've got access to the side ports where you can plug in this microphone. So you've got this little adapter right here. It's got a little microphone indicator on this port right here. And you plug this in to that port, and now you've got the ability to plug into this jack, and you can plug your microphone into this jack. Now, right now, this is it's like a 2-foot long cable, so it's not really helpful to have the camera only 2 feet away from the person. So I've given you my trusty cable extension, and it's about 20 feet of cable, and you will just unclip this, plug your microphone into one end of the cable, run your cable to wherever the person is, put the microphone on the person, and then plug the other end that's remaining into the camera. And then you can set up the camera wherever you want with the microphone far away. Microphone far away. Hopefully that makes sense. Call me if you have any questions. Now, what I just showed you with this will record directly into the camera, which is very helpful for me as an editor to have the nicest audio filmed onto the camera. However, there are going to be situations where, for example, you might want to be far away from the camera and the cable doesn't reach, or it's just you're shooting in a situation where you might need to be using this case, for example, and there's no way to put the audio cable into the camera. So what do? Well, we've bought you this very nice audio recorder for external use. Now, the tough thing about this is that it doesn't lay the track onto the video on your card. It has a separate card in it, right here, that records the audio. Has a separate card on it that records the audio separately onto its own SD card. And this can hold days and days and days worth of audio. But it will get full eventually, and you'll need to dump it on your computer. So these are separate audio files you will need to dump on the computer hard drive and send to me. But the great thing about it is you can be anywhere recording audio and have this recording anywhere far away from it, and I will match up the scenery from the video to the sound being recorded. It'll be difficult, but I can do it. The way this works is like this. There's all these controls on this thing. So you're going to look for power, and there's the power right there. It's just that power symbol, the universal sign for power. So you press and hold, and then it turns on, and it'll say hello. It's really nice to you, and it greets you and shows you the audio levels. You can see testing 1 2 3. See the audio spiking, testing 1 2 3. Now the thing that this is cool for is if you're spiking the audio like I am right now, if they're going all the way, that's not good. That means there's going to be screeching and distortion in the audio. So what you want to do is turn it down. And there's this volume level right here. And so you just turn it down until you're probably kind of in the middle of the volume. All right, and so yeah, and actually middle to a little over the middle would be good for volume level. So maybe I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. And now you can see that I'm up a little higher but not peaking. So that's good. And then if you want to record, just hit the red button right here on the bottom and press record, and then this red light will come on, and then you know you're recording. All right, so there's that. And there's a lot of other features. I'm not going to get into depth. There is a book you can read for yourself if you want to learn more about all the other features. This thing does record in 2-channel. It also records in 4-channel, which you don't need to bother working with the 4-channel. And it'll also even record in surround sound. That's what the 4-channel is. It's 4-channel surround sound, but don't mess with it. Just leave it in 2-channel or XY, which is what it's on right now. It's just 2 different versions of like where it picks up audio from. XY is for picking up audio directly in front of the thing. This has 5 speakers in it. It has 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and 1 on top. And so when you see these little diagrams, it's basically showing you which direction it's going to be mostly recording the audio from. If you flip it up to 2-channel, what's cool about this one is actually it's recording all around. But you have to be careful. If for example, this side of the mic has a road and your subject is on this side and you want to be recording your subject, do not record on the surround sound because it'll be picking up the road audio too, and that's not good. So that's when you would turn this to XY. Really, that's as complex as I would want to get on this thing with you. It's an extremely advanced audio field recorder. It can do all sorts of things, but for now, let's just leave it at that. Keep it simple. This is another really important piece. When you're out in the field, you're going to be probably likely to get a lot of wind. And when you get wind and you're recording audio, it distorts the audio to the point where you can't use it. So you're going to want to put this little wind protector on top of it when you're recording. It looks really funny, but what it does is it protects the audio from distorting. And even the wind can be blowing pretty hard and it won't really distort.
If they want to make their own out of beaver pelt, that works well.
If you want to make your own out of beaver pelt, Bill said you could do that too. So I'm sure you'll come up with lots of funny names for this piece of fur.
A Wookie.
Yeah, Wookie sound recorder. This thing, obviously you want to turn it on and off. Make sure to turn it off when you're done using it so it doesn't waste the batteries. If you do need to replace the batteries, you just slide this back off and there's AA's right there. Just replace the AA's from time to time. Make sure it's fresh before you go out on a long journey with it or something. Cool. So there's some important things we need to cover on this the app for this phone. And I'll show you some ways that you can control this in a way that hopefully will explain it very easy to you. Okay, so one of the things about this app is that you can control all the settings from the GoPro here. Well, the things that you want to be controlling are, for example, like your field of view. So you go to field of view, and you can say narrow, medium, or wide. All right, and so that's like narrow would be zoomed in, medium would be a medium crop, and wide would be a wide angle. All right, so we'll put it on wide, and we'll film Bill over here, and I'll show you how you can see Bill. So there's Bill. See, but you can also see the whole room. It's really amazing. Like there he is, a whole wide room. So you can get really tight quarters and get a whole wide angle in there. Actually, there's Bill. Hi, Bill. Yes. All right, so now we're going to switch it over. I'm going to switch that setting over to medium. Okay, go back to the field of view.
And you can push those buttons on the camera, but it's just easier to do.
Now, do you see how it's cropped in the view? Yeah, so that's great. So he's a lot less wide. It's a lot tighter of a shot. We're going to do one more. I'll get to that in a second. And we're going to do super wide. Wait, no, I'm sorry. We're going to go back to narrow. I went the wrong way. We're going to go to narrow. And now you're going to be pretty cut close, and that's all you can see right there. So it's not really a zoom per se, but it is kind of a crop. All right. And what Bill was asking is, can you control all this from the camera? Yes, you can. It's just a lot more difficult. You don't have as much clarity on the screen to see. It's like the icons are it's a pretty tough see. I can't even really show you right here. The other thing about it is you know, if you don't have this phone to use, you can't see what you're filming, so you're guessing. And a lot of people that use GoPro, you know, can't wait to get to their computer to plug it in to see if they got anything. But the guesswork is taken away when you've got the phone, so you can pretty much know right away what you're getting is good or not. And yeah, if you do want to use the phone, like the buttons on the camera, it's pretty difficult, to be honest, to learn. It's kind of something you're going to have to just play around with and get used to. I've played around with it enough that I'm starting to get to it, but honestly, it's really hard for me too, so I use the phone. Like pressing these buttons right here gets you into the menus. So here's like different menus, and let's say you want to choose setup. You click on the top button to then now scroll through your different menu items in setup. Honestly, it's ridiculously difficult, and I stay away from it as much as possible because I luckily have the phone. So that's enough for that, and we'll move on to the last subject here. Alright, you guys, here's our last topic, and it's a really important topic. This is your hard drive, and you're going to be putting all your footage onto this through plugging this into your computer. This will show up as Village 1 on your computer. When you plug it in, there'll be an external drive that pops up and it says Village 1. You know that you've plugged this in. And what I want you to do is periodically pull the card out of your camera. I mean, you will have to if you run out of space anyways. But you've got two cards. You've got a 32 gigabyte and a 64 gigabyte. I need you to dump that footage through your computer onto this hard drive. Keep it organized if you can. Like put folders, label your folders, keep it organized. That'd be really helpful. And then the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to take the card out of the audio recorder, out of the bottom, and you're going to put that into your computer. And you're going to transfer. So I would label one folder audio. In fact, I'll have it on here for you, okay? I'm going to label one of them audio and one of them video. And just throw all your audio and your video into the appropriate folders. Great, you guys. So I'm going to have Bill say a few words. We'll pan up to me, and I'll say adios.
Good job, Brian.
Adios, you guys. Good luck with the filming. And hopefully I can be available to you guys through Skype. Hopefully you guys have Skype. It's video internet calling, and if you want to show me anything, like, hey Ryan, what does this button do? How do I make this work? Whatever, I'll be available here in sunny Portland, Oregon. All right, you guys, good luck.
Greetings, Frank, and fellow visitors who are listening to this as well. Frank, the main thing with everything that Ryan showed you, all the equipment, do not drop it in the Kuskokwim River or the snow. Cost me thousands of dollars, but I'm trusting you. I'm sending up the package probably in a couple days. Send it up to you and take your time with it and get to know it. But gosh, you've got all those incredible hunts that you're doing and wood gathering, no berry gathering during this time of year. So I think it'd be great for you to learn how to use the camera and get ready for springtime. If you have any questions, I guess you could call Ryan, that you guys could do Skyping. I don't know how to do it, but I'm sure one of your nieces or son would be able to show you how to do that. That way you could show the exact part that you're talking about that you have a question on, and then you guys could have a pre-planned time that you could have a Skyping session. So hope this finds you in good health and your family and friends, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Bill.